For most of my life, two of the biggest bad habits that were plaguing me the most and holding me back from becoming the best version of myself were my social media addiction and my video games addiction. I was mainly just watching YouTube videos about bullshit. Like, yeah, sure, there was an educational video that I watched from time to time, because by nature, I just have a really old soul for some reason. Maybe I inherited it from like my past ancestors, but apart from that, most of my time on YouTube was basically spent watching bullshit. I believe that I spent on average like 80% watching destructive content, like, the type of content which just spiked my dopamine and didn't really give me enough value for the future. For example, it didn't supply me with some powerful knowledge, it didn't give me anything. All it did was just, you know, just make me laugh, and then I would move on with my day. And 20% of the time, I spent it productively, like actually learning something. And for the second bad habit, which was playing video games, it's obvious. It was because of the lack of fun that I had in my life. Because you see, when you have friends around you, especially your classmates, who constantly play video games, like, yeah, sure, they had some kind of fun in their lives. Like, they used to play football, they used to go into so many different clubs, but not all of them. I think that probably only one of them basically attended like all the different clubs in our local area, and most of them just played football by the side, and that was like it. Most of their time was spent playing video games. And of course, me who had no social gratification from the people around him, he who wanted to be cool with everyone, I started becoming more like them. I started indulging more in video games, and especially in other games which I didn't like to play, but played them anyways because of them, like CSGO, Fortnite, Terraria, and all of these other video games. And yeah, sure, the memories that I created were pretty nice. However, it just wasn't authentically me whilst I was playing them. I didn't feel attached to them. Well, because it was a video game in the first place, so I already subconsciously knew that it wouldn't benefit me in the future, even if it was authentic to me, like Minecraft, for example. And second, I didn't put much effort into it whilst I was playing it. I was just playing it for the fun and for the memories. And there was this one time when I was playing Fortnite, and this was like 4 years ago, probably. I was playing with one of my family friends, and he told me, TR, holy shit, if you actually try hard at this game, you would actually become such a god inside of it. And that really resonated with me. Because you see, this happened around winter of 2020. This was basically peak lockdown, whilst everyone was locked inside, the streets. No one was outside because everyone was scared of the disease that was spreading at that time. Everyone was playing video games, watching YouTube, and stuff like this. And so, me finally getting some kind of admiration, some kind of recognition from the outside world, and especially from my friends, from finally being recognized for something, it implanted this seed inside of me that gave me a huge sense of confidence. Even though my friendships with those people with whom I played video games was really strong, they never gave me, like compliments. They never gave me some kind of admiration. But what they were really good at was yelling at me whenever I, you know, forgot to hold shift so that the enemy team wouldn't hear us, in CSGO, because if you don't press shift, then you're basically sprinting and everyone can hear you. Yeah, they were really good at yelling at me for that. And that was really the first time that I got recognized for something, and it felt really nice. And so later, as I became older, and summer of 2023 arrived, and I got a huge spark of motivation to actually do something with my life, I approached it with so much confidence that I wasn't holding back. I started to wake up at 5 a.m. I started to take care of my hygiene more. I started to shower every single day. I started to exercise in the morning, meditating. I started to gratitude journal so that my mental health would finally get fixed. And best of all, I was finally interested in entrepreneurship because I wanted to financially provide for my family, and that gave me such a sense of fulfillment that I wouldn't trade it for anything. But then I realized something. After like 4 months of grinding on self improvement, like going all out, sometime in early November of 2023, I had a burnout. Basically, I was doing all of these good habits every single day, and I didn't saw any change at all. Like, yeah, sure, my attention span got a little bit better, but the relationships with the people around me, they haven't changed. I lost all of my past friends with whom I played video games, but not in a bad way, like we actually argued. No, we just kind of fell off, if you know what I'm saying. I just basically became, I don't want to say too advanced for them because that would sound a little bit toxic, but yeah, I kind of like that. I just had more ambitious goals than them. And I'm not trying to downplay them or anything, but you understand what I'm trying to say. We just went our own separate ways. But apart from like three people with whom go to the gym on a regular basis, even to this day, I basically had no one on this self improvement journey. There was no one complimenting me. There was no one who was actually admiring my progress to at least some extent. Everyone was making fun of me because I was waking up at 5 a.m. My dad even used to say, "Oh, you're going to sleep with the hens once again. I see." Kakak! He used to make fun of me for that all the time. But I continued because even though these 4 months were the most loneliest period of my entire life, the most grindy period, the hardest periods of my self improvement journey yet, I still continued because even though it was the hardest, the most painful, the most trial and tribulation part of my self improvement journey, it was by far the most fulfilling and the most inspirational part of it. And do you know why? Because I knew that eventually, if I just improve enough, if I just get enough knowledge that I can share with the outside world, that would impress the most quality people in the world, like the top 1% of people. I don't like to use those kinds of metrics like the top 1% of people, but for the sake of this video, let's use them, okay? I knew that eventually, with enough effort, I would be able to somehow attract them into my life. It was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when they would eventually come to my life. And so I continued to watch long form educational videos. I continued to exercise every single day. I continued to mend my mental health. And then eventually he showed up for a visit. Sometime in early November of 2023, I don't remember the exact date, but one of my mom's friends from primary school came to visit us from England, and she has this husband who is by far one of the greatest men that I've ever met. Now, keep in mind, he already works as a teacher, so he was naturally interested in me, like, in my self development journey. But when I told him about all the different analogies that I've learned on self improvement, about all the different topics like dopamine, like masculinity, like discipline, and all of these other things, which I was already an expert at all the way back then, he was astonished. He was beyond impressed, and we had the most mindful conversation about my future that you could ever imagine. He inspired the fuck out of me. He actually finally gave me that spark that got me going all those 4 years ago. And as he was leaving, he said that I inspired him. Bro, that literally resonated so much with me. And I'm not sure if he just meant it like sarcastically or anything, like if he actually took action on what I was teaching him, but I still felt that. And I finally knew that my efforts weren't for nothing, that they would eventually come full circle, that eventually all my hard work, which I was putting into myself, would pay off. And that eventually I would find someone like him in my local area who was my age, and we would grow with each other like there was no tomorrow. And let me tell you, man, when you meet one of these people, when you have such a mindful conversation with just one of these people who are top quality, the value that they give you, the way that they make you feel, it is infinitely better than with the people with whom you play video games. Because remember, when I was talking to him, I was talking non-stop. I was giving him so much value. And keep in mind, English is not my first language, it is my second language. And I was talking non-stop for like 4 hours in English. And so, yeah, if you just continue to improve yourself every single day, if you just strive to become the best version of yourself every single day, and you slowly but surely move to that goal, you will eventually encounter someone like him. You will eventually get someone like that into your life. And once you do get that spark, that sense that your hard work is actually paying off, then it actually will. And you will continue going all out on your self improvement journey, and you will actually feel motivated to continue. You will actually feel motivated to wake up at 5 a.m. You know, my parents constantly ask me, why are you still waking up at 5 a.m.? Why don't you just sleep in? Don't you just lose sleep? You need to regain it back, you know? And I told them, no, it is inevitable. I have to wake up at 5 a.m. for my morning routine. And they think that it is just a, like a kid's thing, like I would eventually grow old out of it. But no, it has a purpose for why I'm waking up at 5 a.m. You know that if I don't make a video, someone might end themselves, right? If my message doesn't reach someone who actually needs it, who gets bullied at school every single day, who literally has not even heard the concept of stoicism, of learning from your past mistakes, who literally gets mad even at the smallest things, who literally has no sign of goals in his life, who has nothing going for himself, then that will happen. If I don't wake up at 5 a.m. and record these types of videos, that will happen. And also, if I don't release the huge project that I'm working on that will be revealed soon, something bad might happen. But pessimism aside, I'm not just doing this for you, but for myself also, because I still want to keep my discipline, because discipline is the most valued skill in this modern world where no one wants to work. It will literally make you into the strongest man of your generation. You will literally feel like working, even on your rest days. Like, bro, 2 days ago, I was literally biking, and the muscle soreness was so bad that I still feel it to this day. And also combined with the fact that yesterday I was in the gym, literally working out my entire body. And yeah, I should be resting right now. I shouldn't be recording these types of videos, but I am anyways, because I know that eventually those high quality people will enter my life. If I just continue to push myself enough, those diamond friends will eventually come to you, and those dirt friends, you will leave them in the dust. You will leave all of the negative energy that they give you, they literally vibrate on such low frequencies that they just never get a sense of enlightenment in their entire days. Like, again, I don't want to sound toxic, but the bottom 99% of people, they're just so pessimistic all the time. And if they just put in a little bit more discipline, because guess what? It doesn't matter how old you are, you can still get financially rich. It is not a question of age, it is a question of effort. Even even your grandpa who is retired can get rich online and he just doesn't want to. But you, unlike him, I see so much potential inside of you if you're watching videos like these. If you're actually enriching your mental health, if you're enhancing your physical health every single day, then I know that you'll find your place in our Discord clan. We have literally men in there who share the same values as you, the same goals, the same likes and dislikes, who are becoming the best version of themselves each and every single day, who will literally be your healthy competition and light a fire under your ass so that you keep going even when you don't feel like it. But at the same time, they will be literally like your blood bonded brothers and they will help you no matter what. And so, if you want to join us on the path to greatness, and even if you want to harness the motivation of the top 1% of people, and if you just don't want to wait like I did for those 4 months, then you can talk to us in our Discord clan. You're invited. So please, harness your potential and don't disappoint yourself once again. Don't be held back by the 99% of people. But other than that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you like, join the email list in the description, and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most and which part of the video you will implement into your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan because you're still invited. The guys in there, they will turn the discipline that you're putting into your self improvement journey, and they will literally praise you so much that it becomes motivation. And that's the reason why I want to aim for the 1% of people, because they will support you in your self improvement journey no matter what. They won't tell you the bullshit of, oh, it's pointless, why even try? Remember that exam you failed 7 years ago? Yeah. Why even bother? No, they will actually praise you and get you onto the right path in life. They will literally give you so much gratification that you won't feel like coming back to the bad habits that have been holding you back your entire life. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you